Now, Rajiv, one question that comes up for everybody is, what is this Indian identity? Do we at all have an identity? I'm asking this because most of us are distanced from our own culture, our civilization. We don't know our own languages. We don't understand our literature, which has come to you from a long time past. None of us, maybe a very few of us, study Sanskrit. We don't know Kalidasa. We don't know literature. And because we don't study our own language, we are distanced from what we are. We are Indian in terms of a face or what we are physically, but mentally there's a confusion in what is an Indian identity. How would you explain this, and what do you think we need to do?
Yes, I think that to understand the Indian identity, one of the central foundations and building blocks is Hindu Dharma. There is no denying that. Whatever it may have been called earlier, so Hindu Dharma is sort of the modern name for a very ancient set of practices, symbols, theories, philosophies, different traditions. Now, the characteristics of this are very unique. It's an open architecture. I call it an open architecture. In fact, the book Indra's Net describes that. Open architecture in the sense that new ideas are welcome. There is harmony amidst diversity. So there are a lot of differences, different kind of positions, like in the internet, but there is mutual harmony, mutual respect, and there is change. It evolves. It's not a frozen, fixed book from a prophet that is fixed and knowledge can't advance. So being an open architecture gives us an advantage that we have a consistent flow and also evolution at the same time. Now one of the key ingredients is that in our tradition, we separated the Shruti and the Smriti, where the Shruti is that which is eternal and permanent, and Smriti keeps evolving. So what should be the modern ethics? How should we run our cities? What should be and the constitution is a modern Smriti for us. It unifies us. So this separation of Shruti and Smriti means we are better off than people who have one book that is frozen and fixed, which contains the Shruti, Smriti combined and fixed forever, because then they can't evolve. If they are evolving, it's considered blasphemy. So this is an important, another important thing with us is the tradition of Purva Paksh, which I've described in detail in being different. The Purva Paksh, the tradition of studying others in a mutually respectful way, studying them to understand them in an honest way, and then the Uttar Paksh is the response. So this is like we must study others. We cannot. Now that's unfortunate. We stopped doing that. In the classical period, we were very vibrant in Purva Paksh, and so we were always learning. There was a back and flow ideas, but somehow for the last 1,000 years, for whatever reason, the Purva Paksh is not that. It is sort of like we've got let it atrophy, or we just became lazy or something. Today, we are not studying the West from our point of view. We are not studying China from our point of view. We are not really studying the major civilizations through our lens. In fact, they are studying us much more than we are studying them. I am told that Indian experts on China are generally reading American journals on China, or are going to American conferences, because we haven't really done enough original R&D. We have to know the language, we have to be very familiar, and we have to have people who take as their whole career the study of a certain civilization. Like Americans have South Asian studies, and you get your PhD and you go work all your life in the State Department and you work in South Asian studies, or you work in East Asian studies or Russia studies or Africa studies. So we need to create the international studies issue, kind of culture, where we must first know who we are. Our identity we must understand, and then from our identity we can study other people. So understanding the open architecture, understanding the building blocks that have been part of this open architecture for a very long time, understanding the histories of various empires, various rulers in different parts of India, all that is part of being Indian. I meet friends, I have a group of friends who are Jats in Delhi. So they say, what can we do? So I said, create the history of the Jats. Start with yourself. There should be a history of each of the communities should be proud to sponsor research on their history. And the regional archaeology is so rich. If you look at the archaeology of any region of India, it goes way back thousands of years. But so much of that which is what our identity would be if we knew it. But it is not properly excavated. It is not properly polished up and taught. And the history books lag. history books lack these discoveries. Much of the lens that is in the history books is a colonial lens. It's a lens of almost like we should be embarrassed and we should have sort of self-hatred and we should be apologetic. So because of these things, we have lacked the identity.